I was not expecting to get an arch rival today, but here we are.
Come on, man!
Archrivals. I'm going to have to fix this a little bit while we're talking, Rick. But anyways, how was your weekend, Rick? How did old Phoenix, Arizona treat you?
I got to tell you, I was extremely fucking happy to hang out with the boys, talk a little football, open some packs. Just go stark wild in fucking Phoenix. And something was brought up to me a little bit over the weekend that we didn't see a bus.
You didn't see a bus?
I didn't see a bus the entire time we were out there this weekend.
Dude, I saw several of them. Remember? I don't know. Maybe you weren't paying attention.
I was probably just paying attention more to the scenery than anything else. To be honest,
we were in the bus. We were in the bus lane when we were trying to race the girls back to the apartment, and we got stuck behind two buses.
Oh Jesus! So everybody, welcome back to Archrivals. This was a pretty crazy weekend for football.
Yeah,
and we got to catch the late Sunday game with the Rams and Saints, and then the Sunday night Battle of the Goats. Which I thought was actually pretty ironic that when they put that whole thing together for the promo, that they had two actual goats, one in a Brady jersey and one in a frickin' Rodgers jersey. So, yeah, I really thought that was actually pretty cool that they did that. You know, it was just one of those things. And
it was pretty interesting. I like goats, man. I think I really like goats. It's like one of my favorite animals.
Well, at least you don't have to deal with frogs.
What's the problem with frogs? Oh,
because my girlfriend loves frogs.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. She likes frogs. You know, I don't know if it's just a girl thing. I know a lot of girls that like frogs. I just don't get it.
And just to let everybody know, don't be discouraged by the bad setup tonight, because we originally weren't going to do the show, and then we thought that everybody would really need to kind of like watch it and get their recaps from the NFL, and at least we don't have to talk about the walking turd burglar.
We don't have to talk about it. See, look, I fixed it. It's better. It's back to normal, Rick.
Okay, so I'm just going to wait for it to pop up on screen.
Yeah, see.
We do have some quick little bites here for news. Des Bryant and the Saints are in negotiations for a contract for the rest of this year. Le'Veon Bell could possibly be tagged for the third time as a Pittsburgh Steeler if he does not show up by next Tuesday.
What does that mean? Like he's going to have to play for him then?
In other words, if he doesn't report to practice by next Tuesday, he loses out the rest of this year, which is $14 million, and he's already lost $8 million to top it all off. And even if he doesn't play, instead of him technically becoming a free agent, the Steelers could actually franchise tag him for a third year in a row, and he'd be stuck a Pittsburgh Steeler, only to be either traded or released at some point after that.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. What would he do?
Well, because, you know what? Honestly, if he was smart, he tries to get some stock up, because the stat numbers that I've read so far are better with Connors in the lineup than Le'Veon, so that makes it kind of even more interesting. Gets less touches and more yardage, and has, I believe, double the touchdowns from scrimmage. So that should be a very interesting thing. We have the Tennessee Titans who smacked up the Cowgirls.
Oh, hold on. Let me do a little. You want to do a transition, or you got going through news?
I'm just gonna say this news up real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Titans are not going to demote Malcolm Butler because he's the worst cornerback in the NFL at this point. And newly acquired Texans wide receiver Demaryius Thomas rips John Elway and the Broncos brass.
Really?
Yes. He decided he was going to open his mouth after being traded to a winning team for a change. And funny how they played each other this weekend, and we're going to get into that in a few minutes.
Yeah.
So I think we can get some of these scores going. And by the way, the book in the 4 days that I have been gone went missing. So I'm going to be spying everywhere for the book with all of the picks in it. And I'm going to have to do the picks from the phone.
Of course it went missing. It's just like Derek's HDMI cable that he...
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what happened. They
Stuff went missing. I come home and all of our shit's just all weird. I had to reload everything, but whatever. The Lord hates us, but we're still going to keep it going. All right, here we go. Let's go to the picks. First up, we have the Bears versus the Bills. And my God, Ricky, we watched this at the bowling alley, and that was just shit.
I think that was probably the ultimate ass raping that I've ever seen. I mean, the Buffalo Bills, after coming off that strong game Monday night against the Pats, I think they have officially proved that Mr. Peterman is the officially worst quarterback, even worse than Ryan Leaf back in the day. The worst quarterback ever.
The worst. The worst. Now, I wouldn't say that's the biggest ass raping. One happened on Thursday night that was just, it puckered my butthole.
And the funny thing is that everybody gets to see these numbers on the screen. I'd say just maybe try to adjust me over a little bit more because we have some blockage.
Okay. Oh, we got blockage, do we? You think you're the best?
Well, no, I'm just saying. I'm looking at it.
This messes with you. I'm going to make myself a little smaller, too.
I was waiting for people to start making comments, and they just didn't do it yet.
Well, we'll just shrink some stuff down there for you.
So some of these numbers on the stats, like Trubisky's 135 yards. Peterman actually threw more than him and ran more than the starting rusher for the Bears.
Wow.
But some of these numbers, Anthony Miller, 49 yards. Howard had 47 yards. Trubisky, 135 yards. I mean, you wouldn't really think by seeing the score.
This is a 41-9 game.
Exactly. Like, you really don't think that these numbers are just utterly ridiculous. But at the same rate, we did watch this game, and my God.
Well, Max scored, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Max scored.
Oh. Yeah, there was quite a few.
Old pal. We missed you,
quite
buddy.
a few defensive scores on this one, and all the picks were unanimous on this one for the Bears, who heavily covered and did the under-over by themselves. And we did have a listener do a pick, and she lost. So
who was that?
That would be Shauna. She picked the underdog Bills, and even then, with her getting points, she didn't cover.
She didn't cover.
No, she only had 17 points, so that still wasn't enough for the 41-9 drubbing.
Shit, just garbage, Bills.
Now, this next game that we have here, this was a very, very interesting game in a way.
Yeah.
The Bucks and Panthers, because at one point the Panthers were up extremely large when we caught NFL Red Zone.
Yeah.
I believe the Panthers were up like 35 and change in this game. And all right, so like I said before, we don't get to talk about the walking turd burglar because he didn't start.
All right. Good for
He
him.
sat on the sideline with a towel over his poor
I'm
bastard
sure you
head.
would just. I mean, I was there. I was there, folks. He was ecstatic. I mean,
And
he was tickled
I really do fucking hate Jameis Winston.
a lot.
Well, think of it this way: Ryan Fitzpatrick had a fairly decent game. Okay,
Yeah.
he did make this game utterly close at some point. Carolina's run game is ridiculous.
It is. And you know what? For once, Cam Newton wasn't the number one rusher in this game. I thought that was unique.
That was definitely the biggest part out of this whole thing is that they actually did have a balanced attack in this game, and they did take advantage of that Tampa Bay bullshit defense that everybody thinks is so great when they haven't been great since the Super Bowl years. Honestly, I got to tell you, McCaffrey, his second year,
Mm-hmm.
he's fucking all purpose.
All purpose.
All purpose. Because he did a lot.
He's one of those all around cool dudes.
Well, I really wish they just wouldn't make fun of him in the NFL commercial with all like the dancing and shit that they do or the celebrations.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just really doesn't make very much sense to me, to be honest. But it is what it is. Tampa's got, if they stay with Fitzpatrick, they'll be better off.
Yeah, I agree.
Let the turd burglar go.
That's good. They let him go. They dropped him.
No, they didn't drop him yet, but
Oh.
they do say that he's going to be playing on a different team next year.
Well, good. Maybe he'll do something there. All right, next up we have, honestly, and I'm going to say, I mean, I know we're kind of just running through this because we're a little late and stuff, but to the Browns, because I thought you guys played a great game against the 8-1 Kansas City Chiefs. Pretty fantastic.
Well, okay, so this line here, believe it or not, the Chiefs actually did cover because it was 11 points or 12 points or whatever. The one thing I was very impressed of is that there was not a lot of bad play by Baker Mayfield in this game.
No.
Threw for almost 300 yards, threw for 2. Nick Chubb
Did a great job, too.
is going to be a fucking great running back later on in his career. Obviously, you could see the main criminals that are up here for tops on the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
Mahomes,
Hunt,
Kelsey. Same old story, but another W.
Yeah.
And I got to say, Cleveland, I thought this was going to be a lot bigger of a blowout than the 16 points. But Cleveland stood up, so maybe they showed the world something about freaking Kansas City.
Cleveland, we're here. We're in Cleveland. We're here. God damn it.
Oh, and there was also news that Bruce Arians, former Arizona Cardinals coach, wants the Browns job.
Does he?
Yes, he wants to coach the Cleveland Browns, the chocolate bars of Ohio.
How are you going to name yourself the Browns? I still never understand it. How are you going to name yourself the Browns and have shit brown as your color?
Well, think of it this way. Their mascot's a dog, so he just takes big turds.
They're like the mud. They have the same colors. I just got it. If you throw a little blue in there, they're the fucking mud dogs from Waterboy.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, but I think Cleveland did a great job against the Chiefs. Obviously, the Chiefs are gonna, that would just demolish them. But not 16 points. I don't think that was that bad.
No, I actually believe Cleveland did actually play well in this game. It's just that they didn't just have enough firepower.
No, they didn't. But here we go. So we've got this. We can spend like 2 seconds. Osweiler did terrible. and he still won. Darnold didn't really do anything great, but
Basically, this game was freaking 6-6 for the longest time till Miami scored. This was a very weird battle. I know Jet fans. I don't really feel any sympathy for you that you rushed your rookie quarterback in this year, and you got squished by a fucking dolphin, a fucking airplane squished by a dolphin.
Squished by the fish.
Yes. Okay, moving on.
Moving on.
It's not really that much of a big deal. None of these teams are in the playoff race. This game, however.
What the hell just happened?
Where did you get that?
I don't know what happened. It just did it on
Where
its
did
own.
you get that? Oh, Trin joined in. Trin, you can see this calamity of fucking.
This garbage.
Yeah,
All right,
but
here
it's
we
better
go.
than nothing.
Big Ben and his dude. What did Derek say? Big Ben looks like? He looks like a welder.
Yes, he looks like a welder.
One of our wives said, like, why are all the quarterbacks so pretty? And I was like, have you ever fucking seen Roethlisberger?
Oh,
Derek's
jeez.
like, yeah, he looks like a welder. And I was like, yeah, and he's the one that sends the dick pics to everybody.
Yeah. So this game here,
Or
I
assaults women.
actually did go with the Ravens, and the other three guys went with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But all in all, this was one of those real close games. Okay, it's a 7-point game. Baltimore's offense has just legitimately disappeared off the face of the planet. But Pittsburgh's offense is now rolling. Their defense is catching up. And as you can see here, another 100-yard rushing game for Connor. Big Ben, 272 scores. Pittsburgh's rolling 5-2-1. They're leading that division again. But this was a very good close game from what we saw on Sunday as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we missed a big gap of it traveling from the apartment to the bowling alley, but
It was still a pretty close game.
yes, it was.
All right, so next up we've got man, they just break my heart all so far this season, but they've been doing good. They got 3 wins, but the Lions fell to the Vikings.
I think you have the Patricia curse
Huh.
because he was the former defensive coordinator of the Pats.
Maybe is that what happens at the Lions?
I think that's what it is with you. You're picking the Lions, and for fucking Patricia's just rocketing you out of Detroit.
No, well, probably.
This game here, the pretty purple helmets, by which what my lovely woman is usually picking the Vikings on.
Because their uniforms are pretty.
Yeah, the pretty purple fucking uniforms.
I love
Obviously-
Melissa. She could kick all of our asses, but I just like making fun of her just for that one statement that she said.
Win by fucking 15 in this game, and I think Detroit's getting a little bit more help. I believe there was some signings from them this past. But Cousins, not for anything, he put up better numbers in Washington than he's done with the Vikings, and they're winning. So at 5-3-1, you can kind of be okay with that. For weeks, Detroit's run game was real good. Now, right in the toilet.
Nothing at all.
They just can't get out of their own fucking way. That's the issue. And there was the return of Dalvin Cook for the Vikings this weekend. So good to see that little bastard running around on the field again. But overall, Vikings take this one 24-9. It was again. The score looks close, but the stats look crappy.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I got Smithed again. Damn it.
Actually, I believe we all did. Yes, we did. We all did, except for Trin, who went with the Falcons, who somehow miraculously have taken their thumb out of their ass and put up fucking 38 points on the board. And there it was, an actual Julio Jones sighting. 121 yards and a touchdown. Who hasn't scored in like 2 years?
Yeah. I'm glad he's well, he scored a couple last week, but I mean, I'm glad he's finally decided to like, oh yeah, I forgot shit. I showed up to work today. Fuck, I better do something.
Most definitely. This game here we actually caught a lot of.
Yeah.
Thanks to the
Bowling alley's
Arizona
90 fucking TVs.
Well, that and the fact that we were able to sling this game because Arizona TV was not airing it. God, that's so bad. Your team's not playing and you don't put any football on at 1 o'clock. Fucking horrible. And everything just starts to fall over here. But this game here was a lot closer. I think at one, well, really, Washington had any points. They were just getting blown out by the Falcons by halftime.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right, so let's move to the battle of
game,
the battle of the farm animals.
Well, in this situation, though, I mean, because I do live in Southwest Kansas, the horses are usually the ones that like tell the cows where to go, but it wasn't the case on Sunday because the Houston Texans just, stampeded. Get it? They stampeded over the Broncos. Not quite stampeded, but they beat them.
Well, again, this is it was actually weird that this game came up because at the trade deadline, Demaryius Thomas did get traded to the Houston Texans and apparently did not like the way that the team was being run. So this was almost kind of like one of those fuck you revenge games.
Yeah.
And even though Watson's numbers weren't crisp, he played well. DeAndre Hopkins, that human fucking highlight reel, had 105 yards and a score. Lindsey, another hard 60 yards rushing. Keenum didn't have a bad throwing day.
No, he did well.
It's just that both defenses, I guess, just decided to stand up and wave and say, "Hi, I'm here. Play with me."
Both defenses, like, this was definitely, the offense did well, but this is the defense held these guys. They held Texans held Broncos to 2 points, and they were the better defense that day. I mean, you really can't blame either team.
No,
and
but all in all,
the Broncos could have easily won that game.
But I will also say though that when you see a game that's only a 2-point game and the defenses are actually playing well, those are probably the best NFL games to watch. Now we got the 4 o'clock games. This is where life got really fucking interesting.
Oh, I want to talk more about the next interesting game because, but this one, Chargers, they're staying ahead. They're staying well in the second place in the AFC West. They beat the Seahawks 27-17. Rivers had a great game. Gordon did well.
By the way, I will mention that this was a split for the picks, where the true arch rivals, yourself and me, went with the Chargers on this game, and everybody went with the Legion of shit. Boom. Exploded.
Legion of diarrhea.
Went with the Seahawks, and I got to tell you, the Seahawks did have a chance to win this game. However, there was a really big drop. I think Russell Wilson dropped his pants and said, "Bend over and poke me in them," because then the next play they couldn't convert the 4th down and get the game-tying score. So this game was actually pretty close toward the end. And again, one of my favorite running backs, another 100-yard game. That guy is beasting, by the way. Melvin Gordon is beasting.
Mm-hmm. He's doing well.
Keenan Allen, another 100-yard receiving game, which is fucking phenomenal. But this game here was very, very close toward the end. But the Chargers were running away with it, and I was very happy with that.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it at all.
Now, you watched this game more than I did because I was cooking on Sunday. and I really could not catch very much of this. So hit him up, Alex.
Oh, it was a great game, man. I mean, honestly, I thought the Saints were doing a phenomenal job the entire game, and then right about the third quarter, they started to pull. They tied it up. It was 35-35. Next thing I know, the Saints had scored an extra point or a field goal, and it was 38-35. And then, holy shit! Then the Saints scored another touchdown, and there you get to 45-35, and then no one scored for the rest of the game. I mean, I give my hats off to both teams. Goff played great, 391 yards, 3 touchdowns. Gurley ran 68 yards, got 1 touchdown, and then Cooks, 1 touchdown, received for over 114 yards. Now we go to the other side. Drew Brees, who is a badass. I mean, if anybody tells you that Drew Brees, Trent, is the most overrated quarterback, motherfucker threw for 346 yards, 4 touchdowns. Kamara rushed.
I think I will say though, I think I'm going to upgrade it from a pen to a nice little right in the neck about that Breeze shit.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right,
They
I'm
beat
sorry
the
about
number
that.
one. Kamara ran phenomenally. He, 82 yards, got 2 touchdowns. Thomas received for 211 yards, got 1 touchdown. I mean, come on. It was a close game, but the very end of the game, I mean, New Orleans just like put their throat on the Rams' neck and then, cut it because.
Well, this also did involve a game misconduct penalty or
Yes,
unsportsmanlike with the flip phone underneath the padding of the goalpost, which I did actually research this whole deal, and he went to a hole-in-the-wall liquor store to buy not 1 but 2 of these flip phones, and got to the stadium so early that he was able to plant 1 in each padding
no shit, I didn't know that.
of the goalposts, and he actually re-performed the Joe Horn incident of having the cell phone underneath the protective padding from freaking decades ago. And I mean, that really probably could have swayed the game.
Did that guy have a cell phone? Decades ago. How long ago was that?
But it was a flip phone. So I mean, it was the age of smartphones, but he did the same thing that Joe Horn did, and he just reinvented it a little bit better, I guess. But that's some balls to get to the stadium well before everybody else and start planting flip phones underneath the goalposts.
Hell yeah. But anyway, either way, Saints ended up taking down the undefeated Rams in a drag-out fight, and power to
and actually have taken over the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Holy shit balls! That was a big game. It was a big one. It was a big one. All right, so now Ricky, let's talk about, man, how lame is this guy? He was so upset. He's like, "Oh, it's Salute to Service Week. I brought the right jersey for it." This motherfucker plans his wardrobe on Sundays around what uniform his team is wearing.
Listen,
and they threw him a curveball this week, and they went with the color rush instead of Salute Your Service. And boy, he was depressed.
Yeah, but I think of it this way though. They have the whole thing where they do like breast cancer 1 month, and then they do the. But you know what though? In all fairness, it was the salute to troops. I did wear the jersey. I wore it proudly, regardless of whether the Pats wore their color rush or not. But first off, I don't know why they've decided they were doing that, since they only decided that color rush was on Thursdays.
Oh, Vintendo's here. So also he wore his Salute to Service jersey and then went over to Nintendo's house and farted all over the place. Anyways, that's a side story, though.
Actually, no, I did not fart all over the place at Nintendo.
Just twice.
Twice.
You were outside.
And I was
Don't get me wrong.
outside.
But
so
you never
I was
met the
okay.
man, never met the man before in your life, and then she's like,
Well, at least I didn't blow up Ashley's toilet the way I kind of did to Derek's. All right, so
I have
way.
no qualms with blowing up Derek's toilet.
So, yeah, Vin, we this is the whole last second what the hell happened thing. So
But the Patriots. I mean, for a while it was kind of close. What was it for the first half? It was kind of close.
Well, it was tied at half, I believe, and then all of a sudden there was a critical point of the game where I actually questioned the call, and you heard me screaming about it too. Instead of going for the points on 4th and goal, they went for the touchdown, and obviously they failed. Packers didn't score on that ensuing drive, but I kind of felt like that was kind of like a pivotal point of the game. Because if that went right, okay, yeah, you're up 7 and you're okay with it. But if Green Bay now freaking goes down the other end of the field, they tie the game.
Yeah.
And it was 2 drives later that Green Bay did score, and it was a tie game. Another critical point was the fumble by the Green Bay running back, put the Pats in scoring position. Obviously, they pulled off some fucking amazing trick plays this weekend.
Yeah.
There was a flea flicker.
Mm-hmm.
There was a double pass. Cordell Patterson is really starting to pick up that hybrid role of being a 248-pound back instead of just a wide receiver.
Fucking Raiders, Jesus Christ!
I think I actually look at it now, and I think probably Gruden would have gotten rid of him if he had.
Oh, they probably would have because he's stupid. But no. So, anyways, Ricky got to hang out with Ricky and watch the Patriots win, which is awesome. I'm going for the Patriots. I think the Patriots will go to the Super Bowl this year. I think it's Patriots Rams. I'm going to call it that. I'm going to lock that in unless something crazy happens. But yeah, Patriots ended up dominating that game in the second half. So,
and the one key thing about this, the put away score of the game was the Josh Gordon 55-yard score. That was key because he had 130 yards, and he knows the system now. He knows the system now. That is a very, very huge weapon with no Gronk and no Sony Michel. So that was very, very big.
Indeed. All right, so let's go to last night. Final game we're talk about here.
My God, do I
Marcus
have to...
Mariota's got the magic.
Yeah, but you see, I had to wake up to fucking all the Cowgirl fans, taking off their shitty fucking diapers because the Cowboys screwed the pooch in this. They screwed the pooch. Amari Cooper's debut game in a freaking Cowboys uniform, and he just gets ass raped.
He got a touchdown.
That was the first Dallas score, by the way, was the Amari Cooper. But after that, no.
He didn't do anything.
He didn't do very much, and that defense and the offense looked like they were playing against like mega kindergarten kids.
Well, the thing is like, okay, so you drafted Amari Cooper. He's a very good receiver. Dallas has 0 good receivers. Now they have Amari Cooper. Who do you think the defense is going to target the most?
You know what, though? They tried pulling some trick plays, too. Like, they had Cole Beasley try to throw a pass to Mr. Prescott. And it wasn't even fucking close. It was not even close.
Oh, it looked like he was just tossing the ball like just, what was it? I don't like to use it. What was the other game that we used? Like rugby or something like that. You throw the ball and you say, 500. You know what I'm talking about? Where you just throw the ball and you say the name, say the number.
Yeah.
And then whoever catches it gets that many points. That's what it looked like he was doing.
And this was
400 guys.
This must have been like the throwback weekend as well, because there was a interception that the Titans got from the Cowboys. And the idiot runs all the way out to the star at the 50-yard line. And replicates the TO when he was playing with the 49ers. So maybe he tried to steal like the whole like throwback thing and saying, hey, you know what? I could do what TO did. Unfortunately, though, that he didn't get his bitch smacked up like TO did.
Yeah, well.
But from what I watched the highlights of this because I was too fucking tired from the flight when I got back.
I didn't even watch it last night.
I watched the highlights and I was like, wow, you know, the Cowboys really do suck.
Indeed they do.
So
not as bad as my team, but they still suck.
They are freaking sucking the huge dung this year. It's still embarrassing that Washington's still first place in the NFL, the NFC East, but
the NFC East is getting sniffed.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, I mean, that was the week in sports. What do we got next week? Let me pull that up here.
Believe it or not, that was actually week 9, not week 8. For anybody that was really paying attention, I don't know why that fucking.
Oh, I forgot to move. I forgot to change the number. I'm an idiot. Been a long weekend, long week, you know, and it's fuck up.
So before we preview the Thursday night game, this week on the bye, Ravens, Broncos, Texans, and Vikings.
Yep.
So there's no pretty purple helmets. There's no animal battles this week, and the Edgar Allan Poe Ravens are not going to be available in your library this weekend. Thursday night's game, which I'm actually going to try to tune in and watch this while Pipe Bomb is on, will be the pretty lovely blue Carolina Panther uniform.
Now, you just said that there were no animals.
Well, no, there was no farm animals. A panther is not a farm animal.
Oh, okay. Well, you never know.
Well, I don't know if a panther could be a farm animal.
Probably not, but it'd be kind of cool if it was.
But the Carolina Panthers will be visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers at Heinz Field, where the weather is supposed to be chilly, a lovely 30 degrees. Steelers have won 2 out of the last 3. And it's
going to be raining?
Mostly cloudy doesn't mean rain, unless I'm standing on the top of the stadium pissing off. League rankings on this one. Steelers got the great passing game. Panthers have the rush game. Panthers come in at 6-2, and Steelers come in at 5-2-1, and they're on a streak.
Yeah, they are on a streak. The Panthers have been doing all right though too.
I find that this is going to be one of those rough games, to be honest.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull up the line real quick for
I don't know about Carolina going up against Big Ben.
Well, my big key is Pittsburgh's defense good enough at this point right now to stop that rushing attack? You figure you're not going to get it from just McCaffrey. You're also going to get it from Cam Newton.
Yeah.
There may be a lot of jet sweeps in this. And apparently the jet sweep has been very key the last few weeks in a lot of games where they get the wide receivers into a run set. This game here is Pittsburgh laying 7, Carolina getting that 7, and the under over 50. So it's Pittsburgh at home.
I'm going Steelers, man.
I actually think I might go with the Steelers too.
Yeah.
I mean, it could change before Thursday, but this is just a base pick, and I'm not sure if Trent is still watching. But Trent, you can always message me with the pick when you get a chance.
Yep.
And Derek will give me a thing there too.
If he talks to us after his missing cable.
Oh well.
that is definitely in his room.
That's the fucking crazy part. Big ass fucking 12-foot fucking cable disappears.
I know, man. But I think that's all we've got for you. We'll see you guys on Friday, and then we'll with the recap of the Thursday night game, and then we will get back with then we'll do our picks for the weekend.
Yeah, and then we'll have you guys are going to do TDRS tomorrow?
We'll see.
Because we will also have Pipe Bomb back on Thursday night at its normally scheduled time.
Well, hot dang.
Yes.
Hot dang. Well, that's what we got a whole weekend, and then we'll probably do more stuff over the weekend. as we always do. But for now, Ricky, if it lets you have anything else, I will say goodbye, people.
Good night, guys.
Stay up! Oh my God! 30! Touchdown!
Well, I was not expecting to get an arch rival today, but here we are.
Come on, man!